Welcome to another episode of Inside the AF1, a weekly show, Rebound Off the Net. I'm your host, Joshua Cox. Big night tonight. Later on, we'll talk about all the things going on around the league this week, as well as give you our picks for this weekend's games. But first off, we have a special guest. We are joined by the Chief Executive Officer of the Nashville Kats, Mr. Bobby DeVoursney. Bobby, appreciate the time tonight, man.
Hey, Joshua, thank you so much for inviting me, buddy. I'm sorry I missed you at the first game. I didn't know you were there. Otherwise, we would definitely give you the backstage runaround.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, first off, Bobby, I know your all's group took over about 5 weeks before the season. How did you get involved in this? What was the process like in becoming part of this Nashville Kats group?
Yeah, so thank you. It's been a long process for me. I got introduced in the sport 5 years ago as I was an actor. I got asked by a buddy of mine, Reggie Clay, who has a Sports Prospects Perspective show, that he asked me to come and do an interview for these guys that were trying to bring arena football to town. Did some research, found out about the Cats, found out about their reputation. And after hearing these guys' passion for just, finding a place to showcase this talent that may have been, harbored because of injury or a decision here or there or whatever reason, it gave them a place to continue following their passion, and through sports, it's something I'm very passionate about. It being an athlete throughout my life myself, wouldn't have gone through college, any of that. Anyway, we started a team in January of 2020. I quit everything I was doing and started it with these guys, and we put it to the field March the 6th of 2020 against the upcoming, hopefully champs of their league, the Ironmen of West Michigan. Shout out to those guys. I love all arena football guys. I think they're all special. So we got shut down on the bus ride home. COVID shut down. Tried to put it back in 2021, got shut down again because of COVID. And then I just we put it off to the side. And then when the Cats came back, I reached out to Lee Hutton, who got me in touch with the previous ownership, gave them all my spiel, gave them a playbook on how to do this in there. This was before Jeff Fischer was involved, before they even had the Cats name. Never heard from them again. I advised an outside group of counsel, and I got to meet Jeff here in January, and we hit it off, and Greg Pogue. And, luckily I've been able to bring some of this knowledge I've kind of been sitting back for 5 years studying and learning the game and the leagues and stuff into play here. And I think we got a great product.
Yeah. You have a big sports management business background. I know you saw what happened last year and kind of some of the struggles of this year. Why did you want to be a part of this?
It's all about our talent that we put out on the field. We need to put on a show for our fans. We love our fans. I love the Nashville community. I think that this sport fills a couple gaps for me. I'm a hockey player from the North Michigan originally. So as far as the competitiveness, I think it's one of the few true competitive sports left out there, of guys that are just going out there playing for the true love of the game, to showcase their talent and see what happens. I truly respect that in every one of our individuals, the coaches as well. And then secondly, I think it fills a gap in the sports fan base where it's more affordable, it's more interactive. It's we play inside a dome, so it's totally temperature control. It's controlled, so you don't have to worry about the elements. It gives people a safe place to come and gather and watch people just trying to showcase what their talent is, or stay off the streets, or whatever their reason for coming out and playing for us is. I truly love them for it. But really, the fan base of Nashville that's getting forgotten with some of these ticket prices, we fill a gap there, and we're trying to fill a gap there. We provide an experience, and we can do that as long as we continue our trajectory with our streaming services and people like yourself, Joshua, who are using these platforms now to get our names out there more often, in different ways. Because I'm a very candid guy, as I told you backstage. If you're honest with me and I ask you some questions, I'll be totally honest with you as much as I can. I may be vague about some league stuff because that's not where I can address as much to. But it's truly just our fans and the people that are out there grinding away, trying to win a game. I hate to lose. And anywhere I can help to make a team or be a part of a team that's trying to win, I love being a part of.
Yeah, you talked about ticket prices a lot there. I remember last year, like the highest ticket, $100. This year, the highest ticket, $35. So big price gap in tickets there. And so I think that's great for the fans. So
Yeah, and that's all. I got to attribute that all to our dedication to the community. I mean, we're not gaining money on this at all, especially this year. We're just trying to provide a product where people can come and check it out and say, hey, maybe this rendition will be the lasting one, and we hope to make it an experience on and off the field for everybody that comes through our doors. Speaking of that, yourself, tell me your experience. You came to our game.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I think there's a lot of old school Cats fans there. I thought it was great seeing their energy. It was one of the more energized games that I've been to. So I think you got a great fan base, and when you continue to build that, I think it's going to be great. So I'm looking forward to it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you all are kind of in a unique situation. Your owner, Coach Jeff Fischer, is also the commissioner of the league. What's it like working with Coach Fischer, and what is his involvement with the franchise on a daily basis as he's kind of in this dual role?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. So Jeff Fischer and I were very candid with each other as we were heading up, gaining control of the team, as he was gaining the control of the team from the previous ownership, which was a tall task. I helped him kind of with some stuff there, and he saw a value in me that I was hoping he'd see. So we've been working together. We've structured a leadership crew. Myself, Greg Poe, run the day-to-day with Fisher as a consultant on, matters of final decisions, things of that matter. He's very interactive on the football side with Darren Arbett, and they talk, regularly about the football side of things. He just loves the game, and it's great to see the passion in him. Listen, 5 years ago when I started in arena football, I had a 5-year goal to be a premier team in Nashville with a name brand behind us and credibility coming from nothing in arena football space, just knowing that this was once a brand and people loved it here in town. So I'm truly living my 5-year dream for what I had started 5 years ago in today's world. So it came fast and furious, but it's crazy. And, he's excited. He's very supportive of the vision that I put down on as far as the fan base side and the VIP lounge that we have, the interactive wall where we have everybody down there. So he's been very supportive of the vision, especially for the game itself.
Yeah, you've done a lot of, I'm sure, studying of Cats history. You know a lot about the Cats history. One thing that got brought up last year and the team is coming back was the hot tub in the end zone. Is that ever going to come back?
Joshua, I mean, I was hoping this would come up because it is literally the question I get asked the most since I've started this role, and the thing that people bring up every time. And I'd love to have this discussion with you because I've had this discussion yesterday with somebody in his, actually at the Nashville Sports Council, it was brought up when we had a meeting with them. And I asked the question, I said, well, I will do whatever it takes to make this an entertaining thing. If the Cats want it, Cats had the hot tub back then, and it's the most question. I need to at least have the conversation. Is it PC in today's world? I mean, where do we draw the line? Because do we put a guy's hot tub on one side and a girl's hot tub on the other? I mean, how do we fit in there? So we don't want to drive away our fan base. We don't want to act as a gimmick in today's world. We want to perceive ourselves as a premier professional team in our sport, which is what the AF1 is. So you tell me, man, where do we draw the line here? Because I've been back and forth in my head about it almost every day for the last 10 weeks.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. Maybe like you said, a guy's hot tub on one side, a women's hot tub on another side. Maybe, I don't know. But that's a good point. I didn't really think about that though, because that was in the 90s and early 2000s. So it's a big difference in today's world.
It was at different times, I would love, I mean, it would definitely draw attention to us, but I'm just kind of weighing, is it a good way or a bad way? That's definitely one of the questions we'll be tackling, maybe come playoffs, maybe come next year, but I don't think you'll see it May 24th.
What other things you got planned to kind of bolster the fan experience there in Nashville that you haven't done?
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the things that we want to do is just brand awareness, right? So, utilizing one of our best partners, Real American Beer in the league, I've been trying to secure Hulk Hogan to come and make an appearance at one of our upcoming games, whether that be, here May 24th or, God willing, we make a home playoff game. And I want to push to have him there. So the first thing that we did when we partnered with him is I had a belt made for a sideline celebration, this, that, and the other. Right now, one of our players, QB1, Tyler Kolka, shout out to our guy. Have you seen his nickname recently?
I've not, no.
People are calling him, it says Kolkamania in Nashville.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know why. I'm hoping that we are able to utilize, his brand and kind of mesh and get some fans out that are, fans of his. He's fans of ours. I'm hoping that that's probably a long shot at getting the arena filled, but also, we're adding ownership groups. We're going to be coming out here in the near future with some great names behind us. And Jeff is leading the charge on that. We have some old ownership group from last year that I feel was mistreated. One of the first things I did is I reached out to a gentleman, Chuck McDowell, who, is a big name with the Nashville Kats from last year's ownership. He was very generous and I feel like he's mistreated, especially after going over the book. So I invited him, once we saw what we had with your attendance in the first game to the second game. He actually did the coin toss for us, and he's the one. I know you saw the arena. It looks like our arena, right? So it's painted Nashville Kats everywhere. The outside has home of the Kats. Above the ticket office it has home of the Kats, and it's in the middle of downtown Nashville. I mean, it's an incredible atmosphere. And that's all thanks to him. So the first thing I did, after we saw the product we had and put it to the field, and shout out to Ashley Daniel Allen. She's my right hand, and she's been with me through this whole process. Her team is amazing. I invited him to the second game and said, hey, this is a different leadership. I can show you books. I can show you financials. Come see what we got, and then let's talk. Because I said, first of all, I'm so sorry for what you had to go through last year. You were so generous, this, that, and the other. I know it's not my business, but it's the Kats organization itself and the name behind me now. So if no one said they're sorry, I apologize for the way it was treated. And then I want to say thank you for giving us such a beautiful home to play in. And I want to honor him in a way, that I thought was deserving. So he was a part of our coin toss, and we honored him at the beginning of the second game.
Yeah.
And our first win of the year.
Yeah, every time I'm in Tennessee, I hear his commercials on the radio. He's all over the place. So.
He's a good guy, man. He's got a heart of gold, and I appreciate his value of what we're trying to do.
Absolutely, yeah. We talked about it kind of off air there. The Kats logo, the new ownership group last year changed the logo to something new. Do you all plan to use that new logo going forward, or are you all going to go back to the old logo? What is that going to look like for you all?
We're definitely going to look at the transition. I got the old logo behind me here, or the new logo, the new old logo, let's call it that. Because I'm making a big push for having this, and I think we're still at a stage as far as growth where we can definitely do that. However, we've ordered certain merch this year. Once we get rid of that, we're definitely going to be pushing out the new stuff or the old stuff. So hey, call it vintage now, guys. Get the merch on sale now. It won't be long for long.
Yeah, I love that old logo. So that'd be
yeah, thank you. I love it. They got cool Cat on rocking them. So the first thing I did when I got the uniform we had to get it from the old ownership group, is I had to put it on, right? And Greg Pogue, if he was here right now, he'd tell you this story. And he calls me crazy, and he really didn't know what he was getting himself into with me, because I texted them a picture of me in the Cats uniform saying everything's here at 9:30 at night, like on a Monday or Tuesday night, and they're just like, "What are you doing?" And I actually went to pick up the beer for Great Real American Beer in the Cats uniform at the Red Spirit and Liquor in Belmead.
Yeah, 2 home games so far. We talked about Albany and Oregon. How do you think those games went? What kind of the feedback you got from your fans on those games?
Yeah. So as far as the production side, we've addressed a couple of things. In the game you went to, the cheerleaders were really the only thing that was really a complaint to me from the fan base. They couldn't see them. They were on the other side in the VIP lounge area. And we didn't, the boards are 4 feet, so they couldn't really see them from the front. So we raised them up. We put them on a 3-foot riser now, so you can actually see them in the streaming views and across, and we find that's a lot better. from both ways, and we've heard good feedback on that. As far as the arena view, so on our side, we haven't made it very clear on how to get to certain areas. We haven't designated too many seats this year as pick your seat, just because we're trying to get people in. We're trying to view our product. We had our tickets went on sale 4 days before our first game, simply because of the ownership change and then the arena bookings and every little nuance that goes into putting a team together and putting an event together like that. We ended up waiting for Ticketmaster for a week, etc. So for what we had to work with, everybody has loved it. Did you come through the front doors? Did you get a ticket and come in, or how did you get in?
I came through the media entrance there to the side.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you walked around the concourse, we had a bunch of interactive areas. I mean, from a 3D60 machine from the front where it's just playing music. We had the security out front dancing in the lines, checking people in. So I think people have been pleased, minus the directional part, which we're addressing with signs this next game. Everybody loved Kaylee Bishop, who did our halftime entertainment the last 2 rounds, just with her guitar and a speaker up there. People have said how Nashville that is, bringing Nashville to the halftime show, and just, putting a successful singer-songwriter up there who was on The Voice and just showcasing a talent for a couple of songs while we have something else going on the field. That's been a real hit for us. We've really liked the feedback we've gotten on that. I put a flower up wall. We have an influencer generator. That's one thing that I have created with this team, because as you're interviewing me now, this is where we need to be, and this is how we're really going to showcase and end up making the profits we need to, in year 2 to keep the fan base at the ticket level it is. We want to do a lot of interactive stuff here. So we had a lot of people with influence and singer-songwriters at our last game. They loved it. They're coming back. We've had over 500,000 interactions in a very short period of time, which more than eclipses the Kats brand from last year. That's just something that I want to spearhead here in Nashville and take it to the rest of the teams in the league, as this is how we're going to survive and be that premier league.
Yeah, no shortage of country music talent there. So
no, we have a star-studded dais, and it's only going to get better with these announcements coming forward. So we're excited.
Absolutely, yeah. Of course, like I talked about, I was at your all's first home game there. Talking about the passionate old school Kats fans, they're thrilled to have it back. One of the big jobs is growing the Kats brand for you. How do you reach the next generation of Kats fans?
Yeah, so if you saw it, there's so many kids out there that were enjoying themselves, that were at the game. They were jumping up, cheering, this, that, and the other. And that's been a real thing on my mind, is how do we interact with that base? So when we went out, we gave 1,500 tickets to the Metro schools. We gave it to the football players because we believe in sports. We love it. We love the teams. We love our, Ahmad Childress and White House is letting us use their headphones as I am running this as a startup. Unlike last year, we have a lean budget, and we're utilizing our partners around town. But I think if we did a next round, we would give it to the elementary school, the soccer leagues, this, that, and the other, and give it to their parents and just say, hey, bring your athlete. We want to showcase a place where people who aren't going first round in the draft or whatever are still following their dream and getting paid and housed and fed and this, that, and the other. What we're doing here in Nashville, one of the first things that I divulged once Jeff and I came to terms was something that saved us $180,000 off the top line of just housing our players. And I'm going to bring all this hopefully to the league next year, and once we have some time to just kind of sit back as owners and say, listen, how can we pair this together? How can we survive? What are you doing that's better than me? I mean, let's just put our line items, our top line numbers out there and see who's the lowest and say, hey, you get $100 at the end of the year, or just something like that. Make it competitive for all of us to get out there and really look at what we're doing and how we can do it better. And we've raised our quality of life for our players, and they're all in gorgeous houses, and they're all in their own houses with, no more than 3 guys that they're living with. We have a lot that are just 2 other guys in their own house, and thankfully we're just using the technology that's allowed it to us now. I mean, a lot of people are still staying at hotels and they have partnerships there, and we have a great partnership in the Holiday Inn Express. But I mean, I reminisce, we've also done the numbers per head per day, and which a lot of people aren't doing, which I look at everything as a challenge and how can I reduce it. So I mean, once I show that to the league at the end of the year and the other team owners get together, hopefully we'll save some people some money so we can put it back into our players, because they deserve it. Going out there and taking the bruises for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of times the players has got the short end of the stick in the last couple of years, so that's really good to hear. So, so you all used to play back in the day, the Gaylord Entertainment Center. It's got a new name now. You had 12,000 fans back in the day. Is there a path to get back there? Is that a time of the past? And what are realistic expectations for the Nashville Kats?
We haven't looked there yet. So, I mean, as you know, we have a game at the end of the year in Clarksville against Corpus Christi, which, Jeff has been working diligently with. And I was assured today that we are going to have that game. Corpus will be around for. It's a different topic. I'm sure we'll be getting to it. But no, we're looking. Like I said, we have such a beautiful building in Nashville. It's really hard for us to leave there. We love going up to Clarksville and doing a military honorarium game, which we're going to do on June 14th against Corpus. And we're really excited about the F&M Bank Center, F&H Bank Center, and partners with the Predators and this, that, and the other. So I foresee more games there before more games anywhere else.
As far as fans, though, do you think we could ever get back to that number of fans at a game?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, it's so. You saw me. I mean, if you saw me at the first game, I mean, I know we didn't introduce, but I mean, I was the guy running around in a suit. Why I was running around in a suit? Because I try to interact with as many fans as possible, because I need to know what they want in order to give them what they want. So after hearing all the feedback I've gotten, the only challenge that I have right now is parking. I mean, where it's just not a great building to park around in Nashville downtown. Prices are for parking, you're going to pay more or almost double for our ticket prices for our general admission, which is where we have 90% of our seats, available right now, because we want to get people in there. We want to get a good show on TV, and we want to, condense people and see what we're capable of for certain masses. So, nothing's off the table as far as for next year. If it makes sense, we're looking forward to it. What I've been doing is I've been going to people in town and saying, listen, you're priced out of Titan, you're priced out of Predators, you're priced out of Sound. Love those guys so much. But if you've ever dreamt of doing something on their field during a game for a spectacular marketing event, please come to me, give me the idea, let's make it happen, because we're getting tens of thousands of views on Vice TV, and then, several other thousand on Evergreen for every one of our games. So people are paying attention. It's just, and I'm not afraid to talk about anything. So the stigmas around arena football that are constant over the last 5 years that I've been a part of it are viability of the league, viability of the team, and consistency. And, in AF1, Jeff is really committed himself and his team with the AF1 to iron out all the issues that may be arising and create more transparency against our owners. That's what I'm pushing for. That's what he's pushing for. And that's what I've, got expressions from other ownership that I've gone and visited games. And, I was just in Washington, and Miguel and the crew out there is great. But it can definitely get to that point, but we have to work together as a league and not as individuals when our league partners are at their weakest moments. And if we can change that mindset, I think we can definitely make this a viable product that is a premier sport, premier time, and that fills the football gap. And it's definitely a show. I mean, listen, these guys are out there. They're taking hits over the boards. A camera mirror. Our first game. I don't condone fighting on the football field. It has its place in hockey. That's a different story. But I mean, our cameraman got up with a bloody eye. Did you see that when one of our players went over the boards, caught it in the camera, and hit him, and he got up with a bloody eye and went back to video. I mean, how is that not, uh, must see TV? I mean, there's definitely a market there, and it's just about doing it right. So we're trying some different stuff in Nashville. As I said, we're making it more interactive with our VIP lounge, and we're not just about here's an arena, here's a day, come check us out. We're like, no, come have a party with us. You're gonna be interactive with our staff from the second you walk in to the second you leave, and you get to go on our field and party and do whatever you want after the game. We got a DJ, we got everything you could possibly want in an afternoon in Nashville for half the cost. I mean, it's our general admission prices are less than a drink cost on Broadway.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
So I mean, there's definitely a market here. We just got to do it right. We got to have some great minds behind us, as in Jeff Fischer and who's definitely committed, and he's gathering the troops right now to show that his commitment and our commitment to the future of this league is beyond 2025 and beyond 2030.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the future. Let's talk about on the football field a little bit. You hired the greatest head coach probably in arena football history, Darren Arbett. How did that come to be, and how is it him being your head coach?
I have to say, he precedes me with the team. That was Jeff's first hire, as he knew he was taking it over. He was advised to reach out to Darren. Darren is a football mind. We have put him through the ringer this year. I mean, he showed up to football training camp the day that I got a call and said, "Hey, Bobby, we're doing this for sure. Put it on the field." I said, "Okay." So I mean, Darren and I we respect each other greatly at this point, and we gave him 2 weeks to put a team together. At that point, when he came in, we thought we were playing week 3 as our first game. It turned out we lost the team. Orlando, I think it was, or somebody that shouldn't. Different story, different day. It's unfortunate. The league adapted. We adapted. We played week 0. So the day that our training camp ended, that Friday, we put a team on a plane with no practice to go to Kansas. And Darren put up a good show. I mean, we came out of there with an L, but it is what it is. And then we came back and we played Albany. And that, as their story there is, we'll see who's the best team now that we've given Darren some time to prep a team come the 10th. But for what we've done, I mean, I can't believe he's put it together the way he has. His coaching staff is very responsible guys. If I didn't trust Darren, I wouldn't put players in houses and risk the liability there. He holds the guys to a high standard, and it's starting to show. It's shown the last 3 games on the field, with the time that we should have gave him from the start. I mean, who knows where we'd be right now? All I know is we're on a winning streak, and Darren and I are good buddies. We have several discussions about today, about the future. I just wish I had more time in my life to sit down and have more time with him. So we'll get that done by the end of the year. But right now we're focusing up on getting that fan experience and engagement up for the 24th. And he's focusing on Albany on the 10th.
3-2 right now. Y'all are improving week by week. Your quarterback just won Offensive Player of the Week. What do you think your chances are to win a championship in this first year?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're on the right track. I mean, I follow the league closely. I follow the social media closely. As you may have seen, Billings signed some heavy hitters today to right the ship. Albany is a tough team. They pay for it. I mean, their players are, they're top notch players, and we have a great group that wants to win. I've tried to set that standard from the top down in my work ethic on and off the field. The guys see that, especially during the games. The home games, I don't see the game, unfortunately. I'm constantly running around. I'll sit down and see a snippet here or there. But our culture will speak for itself at the end of the year for what we had to work with, given, we started this company in 2025 and put it to the field in 2025. to be at a stage where we could say we secured dates for our playoff games. If we head that way and get a home field advantage, we're ready. And to have the product that we put out for you for the first game and the second game, I can't tell you how elated that I am with our whole team, our staff, all the volunteers from TSU. Shout out to Jalen. He's going to be his first to graduate college at the end of this week, and he's been working with us. He was our first intern, and he's worked with me on some things. So he has seen the insides and outsides. In fact, the first game we almost royally messed up, and I had to throw something at him. He had to throw something at me in order to get the flag out there for the national anthem. And so he's been a great, and congratulations to him for graduating on the second. And we're really proud of everybody that helped us. It's been a very, I would love to have them out at any game, working or not working, and to just sit down and talk to them, because they're great people. So we've had a lot of great people that have backed us to get to this point, and I can't be more thankful for them.
Let's talk about the league as a whole a little bit. Had a few issues before the season, issue kind of going on now. How do you feel about the state of the league and where we're at right now?
Yeah, so the state of the league, as one of the benefits is that I do work directly with the commissioner, and we speak every day, about everything going on, and especially when it relates to our season. We play Corpus. It was 3 times before the end of the year, now twice, where we go to them and they come to us for our final game. So we changed our schedule quietly because, it is very difficult. People don't understand how expensive to put on a premier sport like this is. I mean, there's several vendors that have to be paid, several things that need to be in place, storage fees, this, that, and the other. And it's easy to see that the disconnect between accounts receivable and accounts payable. And sometimes that backs up on an ownership group that may not or may have the right people in place, it just slips through the cracks, because most of us have other jobs as well, as we're trying our best and everything. So we changed our schedule quietly because, one, we knew that Corpus was entertaining new ownership groups and investors, so we didn't want to tarnish them in public. Number 2, we're a league full of partners. I mean, on game day, I root for no one more than the Nashville Kats, and if you're playing me, I root for no one to lose more than that opposite team. But otherwise, I root for good games. I root for whatever. And close games are going to make this league go, and exciting games are going to make this league go. So, Corpus, I've been told, is in a great state at the moment, better than yesterday. We changed our game because of concerns, and maybe it gave them an extra week to settle some contracts that's been going on. I don't know. I just know that for the moment we're happy with where Corpus is, and I can't speak anymore. That's a league issue. I know that I've asked about it today as we play them at the end of the year, and I have contracts to sign for that June 14th game. And get tickets on sale. And one of the things is, do we just put Nashville Kats here, or do we put who we're playing against? And with our uncertainty there, we're very hopeful to make that Corpus game in Clarksville on the 14th. So Jeff and the team are very committed to getting the right people in the right places at the right time. Sometimes you do your due diligence, yet things happen along the way, and it's out of everybody's control. You see it on the outside as they were in over their heads. I see it as, I tell my wife this all the time when she talks about her friends. I say, the only 2 people that know what's going on in a relationship are the 2 people that were in their relationship. So you can hear one story from either, or you can hear a third party story. Until you hear it from Corpus's mouth, I would not rule them out of anything at the moment. I mean, they were a talented team at the beginning of the year, and they treated their players. I don't know anything about it, but I heard their payroll was good, and that it on the field showed it. They had a weak point last week, and it was exploited. And I hate to see that because, as I said, if we're AF1 is the whole conglomerate of teams, not just, one team trying to show up and show out. I mean, that's not what we're about for 2026 and the future. That's going to do us nothing. I mean, it's just it becomes a single accolade for a single person in his so-called illustrious career.
Yeah, it kind of led into my next question. You've been in the business world a long time. Your success is kind of predicated on other teams and other franchises' success because the league as a whole is what you talked about. Is that frustrating, just not being able to control what's happening outside of the walls in Nashville?
Well, it's a great question. Yes and no. I think that there is an individual experience based on individual communities that can be tapped into. For instance, we had, Kaylee, I mentioned her earlier as halftime show as just a single songwriter up there with her guitar and a speaker. That speaks to Nashville. That may not speak to, say, what went down in Washington, where they had a rapper and some hydraulic cars with the other, which was super cool, and it spoke to their event there, and maybe that would speak to our event here. But no, it frustrates me to see players leaving hotels or hearing that they've been to 5 hotels because bills aren't being paid, this, that, and the other, and to have it be addressed, so late in the game. That's what frustrates me because we should all be on the same page. And if somebody's having a hard time, one thing I found out about arena football after looking from the outside in for so many years and hearing the stories and knowing the people is that there's a brotherhood and an ego barrier between some of these guys and reality of arena football today, which is a startup. I treat this as a startup where the previous ownership came in here and treated it as a title. Throwing parties, this, that, and the other. After our first win at the game, I was in the VIP section of the arena, still rolling up carpet at 1 o'clock in the morning, while everybody was out celebrating the win. This is a startup, and the fact that people come in there and use it as a party, an excuse to party and then whatever, that frustrates me. As somebody that comes in here and believes in the sport long term and sees the potential for it, I want to work as hard as I can to deliver that on screen and off screen in every aspect of the game and interacting with the fans and giving them something to engage in throughout the process. Not just I consider us an event based around a football game, and the football is what our event is. But is that going to be the draw long term? I don't think that the type of fan base that you're talking about would be there without putting an event first driven business model in place.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Coach Fischer, I was on TMZ there a couple of weeks ago. I talked about expansion. Kind of what are your thoughts on expansion as we kind of move forward?
Yeah, I love expansion, done right, done with the right way. I have some ideas on, if we got a couple people at the top that have, a vested interest in this, I have some ideas on how we can go in and do it. Ultimately, I've thought about this for a long time, and I've always been told every time I broached it with somebody that's asked me the question in a high enough standing, should the leagues merge? Should the top 3 leagues merge, which is now the AF1, the NAL, the IFL. They're different experiences. I consider us the premier league, but they are established. I mean, you can't discredit the leagues for running for 10 years or whatever. It's been through my mind a lot of like, if it were to merge, I think it's an ego blocking mess at the top of right now. I mean, Jeff Fischer is not, and I can't speak to the rest of the ownership or rest of the leadership of the group of the league because I haven't really spoken with them too much. We've been busy, trying to put the product down here. But if I were to switch up anything and to do it, I think that it would be interesting to see a soccer-based model where we have a AF1 or NAL and IFL, and the losers from the AF1 drop into the NAL, or the winners from the NAL go into the AF1, and we have a Premier League, Championship League, or whatever. I think that might be a viable solution, but at the end of the day, one league's going to have to call themselves lesser than the other, technically on paper. But at the end of the day, I mean, we're all trying to survive. We're all trying to make this a premier sport, is what it is. It's not a premier league. You have to think of it as a sport, because the sport itself needs to grow in order to make it a premier league. So right now, I consider all of arena football as startups, because no one has grabbed a big enough base, and maybe a team here or there who are seasoned. I'll call them not a startup and a successful, thriving business at the moment. But I mean, there's not many out there, and it's scary as somebody that's taking a big risk of coming from other jobs to come here. It is a scary thought to say that this people are vetting these teams, but there's also things that happen. There's people that just want to be a part of something like this, and will say anything, do anything. Great salespeople. And just to trust people to see through that, to put some teams together, and then put a schedule together and sign contracts with arenas, and put up tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars that we do in these events throughout the year. It's a daunting task to think about, and I have some ideas on how maybe we can get some. I can't get too into this one because I'm hoping to actually do this with the league and advise them on this before somebody else adapts it. But it needs to change from the top down and restructure to make it an investable entity, instead of something that is dependent on many other factors with no accountability at the end of the day. I mean, if somebody can't. If somebody were to leave the league right now and not have enough money to play, oh no, they're banned from the league. Well, they couldn't afford it in the first place. I mean, what's the there's definitely there's a gap there that needs to be filled, and I believe that I actually drew up the business plan last night to advise the league on at the end of the year to kind of switch that model over and get some teams involved and some investors involved to make this the show that it is. I've had some people in my life recently say, that you'd be a great Savannah Bananas, and Savannah Bananas is a trending thing right now, I guess. And then I've seen clips. It looks fun, but and I don't want to call them a gimmick, because they're very successful. They're making money, which is a lot more than I can say for all of us, and many of us. But what we're trying to do isn't a Savannah Bananas. It's an actual sport that we take seriously, and the kids take seriously, and we pay them to be out there on the field. They don't get paid, like the major sports league. But we also don't charge, for a very fan-based interactive event. I mean, if football goes over, you get to keep it. If the player comes over, you got to throw him back, unfortunately, but he will come into your lap, and you get to shake his hand and get something signed after the game. So yeah, I see so much potential here that it keeps me running every day to try to make this work. And I'm sure I'll have some battles with some owners, some league stuff, maybe even from stuff I said here today, and we'll say going forward. But I'm not here to sugarcoat it. That's the other thing, the transparency issue. People think that we're going to put on a football game and people are just going to show up. No, we need to tell them what's going on. And I think this is a great concept for Vice Sports to follow one of us around to see what it takes and to have the owner access of putting I mean, you can call it the biggest flop or the biggest success in sports history. At the end of it, that's what it'll be, right? And we're definitely going to make it a success here in Nashville and help our partners, and I consider them partners in the AF1 as far as teams to try to make it as successful as what we hope to make it here in Nashville, and by cutting their bottom line from the top down.
Last question for you, Bobby. If you're dreaming 5 years down the road, what does the Nashville Kats look like across the board? What are your dreams for the franchise?
Say that again. You got out on me there for a second. What's the last question?
Yeah. Last question for you. 5 years from down the road from now, where do you want the franchise at across the board? What's your dreams for the Nashville Kats?
5 years down the road, we are consistently filling whatever arena we are in, being able to pay the players, feed the players, and house them the way that they deserve, and create a family fun atmosphere full of entertainment and star-studded power with a cheap price for people to come and enjoy the show. As long as I see smiles at the end of 5 years and to continue to see kids jumping around, I mean, that's really what I'm in it for long term. So I'm already living my dream. Every game when I see the smiling faces, I usually stand in the exit while people are on the field and shake the fans' hands as they leave and ask them, if there's anything that we could do better, and say, I just want to have access to me to put on the show that Nashville deserves. And I'm going to be honest with you, Nashville doesn't have a sports championship, so I really want to be the one to help be a part of bringing that professional sports championship, which is what we are. We treat our players and staff as professionals, and we'll treat this championship as professional. As if we're able to bring one to Nashville, it'd be great.
Chances are you'll get the Titans there.
Yeah, we don't know. New draft. We give them all the credit in the world. They're a hardworking crew over there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Appreciate your time, Bobby. I look forward to getting back to Nashville again for a game, and hopefully I'll get to see you this time.
As long as you let me know beforehand, man, let me know, and we'll get you all the access you need. Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for everybody listening, and go Cats.
Appreciate the time. That was Nashville Kats CEO Bobby DeVoursney. Appreciate his time tonight. That was a long time. I really appreciate all the time he gave to us tonight. A couple more. We're gonna go out with our picks tonight. We're 48-19 overall, all time, 15-9 against the spread. We got Billings in Southwest Kansas to start out tonight. I got Billings 45, Southwest Kansas 32 this week. I think the signings for Billings with Darius Prince is going to put them over the top this week. We're going to have them plus 3.5 and on the money line. We got Albany 57, Salina 27. Albany will easily cover, I think, the 12.5 point spread. They play really well at home. They'll get off to a fast start, and I think they'll cruise to victory in that one. And then Washington and Oregon. I want to call this the arena football after dark, kind of after the Pac-12 after dark. We got Washington 37, Oregon 28. Who knows what will happen in that game? But I think Washington wins again. I think they're the better team. They'll get their third victory over Oregon this week. So we got them minus 4.5 on the books. Appreciate the time tonight. Appreciate Bobby for coming on. And we'll see you next week. And always remember, catch the rebound off the net.